What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talked about the top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks in the market as of right now, so I want to go over all of that, but first make sure you hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, I just wanted to explain, I went through all of these stocks and organized it based on the top 5. I did not include though any stock less than 100 mil of a market cap, because I feel like at that stage the companies are just so heavily reliant on diluting, it skews a lot of the ratios. So again, I didn't include a lot of the popular ones such as Faraday and whatever else. But getting right to it, stock number 5, XPeng, tickers XPEV, sitting at 1970. Over the last 5 days, it is down 5.38%. Over the last 1 year, though, still doing fairly well, up 156.51%. 5.35% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 34.08 million shares. On Friday, shorts did return 2.1 million shares, so despite it pulling back, shorts clearly didn't see it justified. Short score is 59.1, cost to borrow average is 1.5, and then through IBKR you do see roughly around 3.5 million shares. Why this is important is if there is a stock that's running somewhat on low supply, you could see some big money such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and some other big names buy the stock just to lend out. So probably won't happen in this case, but I just wanted to kind of explain. So this is stock number 5. Moving on to stock number 4, you have Polestar sitting at $1.08. It went down 3.57 on Friday. Over the last 1 year, down 29.87, and then over the last 1 month, surprisingly green, up 1.89%. Polestar sitting at 10.7% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 40.92 million shares. Shorts, for whatever reason, have been really doubling down. Hasn't really corresponded so much with the stock price. So the stock price has been somewhat range bound between 1 and roughly like $1.20, $1.30. So kind of a good thing. So again, take that with a grain of salt, of course. So short interest went from around 8% in October to where it is now. So nothing really crazy, but they're slow and like moving higher, slow and steady. But utilization 93.6, short score is 86.99. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. There's also a lot of other information that I don't actually bring up that is listed here, such as DTC. So the higher the number, again, similarly, the better the squeeze. But for any squeeze to occur, you do need 4 things ultimately. You need a lot of shares being shorted, high cost to borrow, fairly high utilization, and then as well you need a surprise catalyst. So I am merely giving you the top 5 most heavily shorted. If a squeeze was to occur, ultimately you do need a catalyst. So again, so if you know potentially what is coming for Polestar's way that might be a good catalyst, drop that in the comments below, or in fact any stock that I do bring up. But through IBKR does indicate 3.9 million is available to be shorted. So this is stock number 4. Moving on to stock number 3, NIO, sitting at $3.75. This one has been beaten down like crazy. Over the last 1 year, down 16.77. Over the last 1 month, down 17.49%. 14.44% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 209.24 million shares. Shorts increased 3.25 million shares on Friday. Cost per average 7.54, and then short score is 77.69. Through IBKR does indicate roughly 2.4 million shares available. So far none of these stocks will have any buying just to lend out or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Moving on to stock number 2. And one thing I do want to state is stock number 1 and 2 are both American stocks, and is a very interesting type of scenario with Trump's tariffs that was just announced. That I believe it is April the 3rd. That's when they're going to be fully kicking off. It's interesting to see like 2 stocks that wouldn't really be affected by the tariffs being very heavily shorted. So again, maybe there's some correlation there, but Rivian. So Rivian sitting at $12.41 over the last 1 year. It is up 13.33%. Over the last 1 month, up 4.5. So doing fairly well. It did pull back a little bit, of course, on Friday, down 4.69, but generally still doing fairly well. 16.65% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 142.19 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is 67.25, and then short score is 76.94. If we kind of see right here, shorts have been returning. So at its peak was roughly 20% short interest. And so generally over the last quarter, shorts have been returning. So that's kind of a good thing. Despite that though, it is still obviously number 2 for that in that regard. But there is roughly around 200,000 shares available to be shorted. So this is a very good example of when it goes down to 0, then you see some buying just to essentially lend out. So again, that might be coming potentially this week as well. So Rivian is stock number 2. And then moving on to stock number 1, another American one, like I mentioned, is Lucid. On Friday, went down 4.13% over the last 1 year, down 18.6%. And then over the last 1 month, definitely did have some pretty good momentum. It is still up 7.41%. Through this, it does indicate 23.46% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 285.1 million. Short score 75.64, and then cost to borrow average is 2.24. Just kind of looking at the chart right here, you can kind of see shorts haven't really been doing all that much. I don't know what they're waiting for, possibly for maybe gravity ramp up or maybe something on a macro standpoint to really break, but it looks as though shorts are just holding on for dear life, waiting for something to happen. But through IBKR does indicate roughly around 1.4 million shares. So the only one that might see some buying because of the available shares is Rivian right here. So let me know your thoughts on these top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks. Do you own any of them? Do you think that any of them are squeeze plays, or are you just buying them and they are unfortunately as well just heavily shorted? So what's your kind of 2 cents on all of that? Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.